Yo, what's good, everybody? I'm back at it again, man. It's another segment of Ray's podcast. Thank you to everyone that has been watching my old videos, liking, and also subscribing to my page. Now that you're here, can you please do that as well for me? And follow my podcast channel, well, my page for it, at Twitter, at Ray's Podcast. And my Instagram is also the same thing, at Ray's Podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about, the regular stuff that I already talk about. And I'm going to add in a couple of MLB talk because it is the playoffs and we're almost here to the World Series. And also I'm going to add a little bit of college football, a little bit of that. And it's, the NFL and the NBA's, everything always, is crazy with that. There's always headlines left and right, and the NBA season is about to start next week also. So, we're about to get into it there. What it is and what it ain't. If you don't like what I got to say, then join the debate. Starting off first, same thing as usual. I don't know what's up with this 9. I went 9 out of 14 again last week. I didn't pick the Eagles or the Vikings game. Don't know why I didn't pick that. That must have slipped my mind. But I can't say I was going to pick the Vikings because the Vikings did win. But, yeah, the Vikings did win, so that's what happened there. A lot of crazy things that happened. Again, 2 teams still undefeated, the Chiefs and the Rams. But I'm going on the line of saying that the Chiefs will lose this weekend to the Patriots, and the Rams will still be the only team that's undefeated after this weekend. The Chiefs are playing the Patriots this weekend. Pat Mahomes, he's having a good run. He didn't have a great game. Well, he played good, but his first 4 games, he didn't go crazy in his last game against the Jaguars. But they still ended up coming out with the win. Picked them last week. Shout out to them boys there. But they're going down this week, and Tom Brady is 4-0. Him and Bill Belichick 4-0 against teams with a winning record. And after this Sunday, it will be 5-0. And that doesn't mean that the Chiefs still can't make it to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying that this weekend that they're not going to be they're not going to be undefeated anymore. They had their run for right now, so it's time to come back to reality. And yet the Patriots are going to beat the Chiefs this weekend. That's coming from me, so stamp that. Shout out to Drew Brees. Gotta talk about Drew Brees before I talk about anything else. Drew Brees and the Saints. Drew Brees made history Monday against the Redskins. Brees now holds the passing record, the all-time passing record, most career pass yards, most 5,000 yards in the season, that's 5 times. Everybody else in the everybody else in NFL has 4. Most consecutive 4,000 passing yards seasons with 12. Most seasons leading the NFL in passing yards, that's 7. I'm sorry, this is a whole lot. You got to pay homage to the Hall of Famer. Most career 400 yards passing games with 16. Most career 300 yards in a passing game, 111, most 300 passing games in a season. He had 13 in 2011. Most consecutive 300-yard passing games with 9. That's 2 separate streaks. The highest complete percentage in the season, 72% in 2017. Most touchdown passes in the game against my Giants, which he had 7 in 2015. And most consecutive games with the passing touchdown with 54 and most career completions. God, there go that man again. Drew Brees. Are the Saints for real this year? Are the Saints for real? Now, if their defense will play like how they played against the Redskins, the Saints might give the Rams a run for their money to the Super Bowl. Shout out to my man Harry. But yeah, now the Saints, they are number 1 in their division. They still have the Carolina Panthers there. The Falcons, who just lost to the Steelers. That was a dominating game that they took them out. But now the Saints, I'm going back to that. Now the Saints, I don't know if it was because it was Drew Brees' night and the defense and everything was just clicking. I don't even know, but they look scary. They look scary. Now, obviously, the Rams are undefeated, and we all picking the Rams because the Rams are in LA now, and they're the most talked about team. But are the Saints for real? I think they're for real, but I still got the Rams going to the Super Bowl, but I wouldn't be surprised if Drew Brees go out with a bang, and he'll be having a stellar season. And it will be the icing on the cake to also win the Super Bowl also. We'll see. It's really early with everything. The Titans lost to the Bills. Took the Titans. Remember I told you, remember the Titans? Yeah, I told you. Can't really put your faith into the Titans because you never know. They lost to the Bills. Steelers dominated against the Falcons. Matt Ryan, did what Matt Ryan does. Freeman came back, but wasn't really getting that many yards from the line of scrimmage. And Antonio Brown scored 2 touchdowns that game as well. And now the Steelers will be playing this weekend against the Bengals, which should be a great game because it's a divisional game as well. The Lions defeated the Packers, but Geronimo Allison did not play, and Randall Cobb as well, he didn't. And also Mason Crosby missed 5 field goals, 4 regular, and then 1 he boot on an extra point. And then also Aaron Rodgers fumbled twice. I think that was his most in his career in a game or something like that. Now the Lions, no. The Lions just won that game because the Packers had a lot of internal stuff going on, injuries, a lot of mess ups. Crosby would not miss that many kicks ever again. If you do, then Packers may be in trouble. But I still have the Packers winning that division. The Vikings ended up beating the Eagles, which is a big win. So that's now with those 3 teams as well. But the Bears still got to watch out for them. Bears is looking good as well. Odell Beckham and the Giants. I did not appreciate Odell coming out saying that during the season as of right now. Now, I'm not saying that's not the truth. I know I like Eli 2-time. I always tell you the Super Bowl, everything like that. But it's time to face reality as well. And that's why I'm here. I didn't like what Odell came out in this season saying that in the interview, which he did get fined by the Giants organization. I didn't like that. It's not professional to me. But I guess he had to be out in the media, so it has to be known. I feel like everything should be in-house. You shouldn't bring none of that. You shouldn't bring none of the team. Everything should be in-house, put it like that. Same thing with Jimmy Butler and the practice and stuff. I'm going to get about that. But when we have family and we have problems, we should deal with it on our own. Nobody else should know what's going on. And I just didn't like what Odell did that. Now, with that being said, that he did that, which it is the truth. With Eli, he's struggling this year. Eli was struggling last year as well. That's why, this year he's struggling worse. Last year when he got benched, I didn't feel like they didn't need to bench him, but they did. Ben McAdoo did get fired. We got a new coach. Eli came back, played really good. But now this year is looking iffy for my man's Eli. That first interception that he threw yesterday to the Eagles was terrible. Some of the interceptions in the Carolina Panthers game wasn't his fault, but at the end of the day, it's still on the stat line saying interception. Eli cannot get out the pocket. That's what everyone's talking about. I'm still getting on the offensive line, but Eli was trying to also, sorry, man. I'm saying also a lot. I'm going to stop. I apologize. Eli was trying to force it to Odell Beckham so many times against the Eagles. Of course, now, because Odell wants more touches and he feels like, he is the highest paid receiver in the league and he wants to be called the best receiver in the league. So now, since he came out saying that he wants more touches and he wants to, prove off his game and be up there in that talk, Now Eli, I feel like he's going to have to force it to him. So the Eagles was on him, coveraging him, and there was nowhere to be found. But Saquon Barkley, our number 2 overall pick. I mean, after everything that's being bad right now, that's the only thing that's good for the Giants right now is Saquon Barkley. It's 6 games with 100 yards against the Eagles. Definitely, and he had 9 receptions for 99 yards. He was our leader in both. Saquon is the only thing that's good right now for the Giants, and that's it. Now, is it the end of the road for Eli Manning? It's not, because our coach said that Eli's still going to be the starter, and he believe in Eli. But we're 1-5. Yikes! We 1-5. So no playoff this year for my Giants. We're going outside. Eli can finish off the year, and then I guess we have to regroup. Now, should we tank? Should we not tank? I don't know. If we do decide to tank, then they might be going in a different direction with Eli. But if Eli goes to a different team, will he perform? That's just up in the air right now. We'll see. But I still believe in my guy Eli. I love him a lot. But as of right now, it's not working out right now. It's not. Nothing's good. But it's not only his fault either. It's not his fault either. It's not his fault. The defense giving up points. Graham Cano against the Panthers, we gave up 30-some points last week. Graham Cano hit that 63-yard field goal, which was amazing. Got it. That was crazy to win the game. We came all the way back to lose. Typical Giant stuff. Never fails. But speaking on that division right there, the Cowboys ended up losing to the Texans. The Texans ended up kicking a kick to win in overtime. So they lost the same way how we lost. The Redskins, they ended up taking an L, obviously, to the Saints. And the Eagles ended up losing to the Vikings. So everybody in the division lost last week. But, the Eagles beat the Giants, so now they opening up. Carson Wentz looked good. Everybody scoring touchdowns. Fly, Eagles, fly. They was doing their thing. And I got to hear from other people saying that, I got friends that Eagles fans. I already told you that. They blowing up my phone. Eli this, Eli that. Eagles up, da-da-da-da. They won a Super Bowl last year, but they still got to get 2. We still got 1. That's the only thing I can hold right now. We got 2. We might not make it to the playoff this year, but we still got 2. What your team got? But who will win that division? Ben said that the Eagles will win that division long time ago. Told y'all that in my first video. But if there was a chance, who can be number 2 in the division to finish off? I have to say the Redskins to be number 2 in that division. Don't believe in I can't say I don't believe in the Cowboys. You just never know which Cowboys team you're going to get. So that's right there with that division. The Browns. They ended up beating the Ravens in overtime. Another team to kick a field goal in overtime. The Browns beat the Ravens. So told y'all about the Steelers, how they dominated against the Falcons, and now the Browns are 2-1 as well with the Steelers. The Bengals are 4-1, and the Ravens have 2 losses on the season. So now that division is up in the air as well. Who will win the division right now? I can start picking that now. Who will win the division? I think the Steelers will make a comeback after Le'Veon Bell will come back. But somebody has to miss the playoffs in that division. Can 3 teams make it? Can the Bengals, Steelers, and the Ravens make it? Steelers play the Bengals this weekend. It's going to be a great game. And I had the Steelers beating the Bengals. So I think if 3 teams can make the playoffs, but I just don't see it. So I think 2 teams out of the 2 teams that will make it will either be the Steelers and the Ravens. I think the Bengals will not. The Bengals will fumble, toss the ball up. They gonna choke. That's what I'm saying though. If anything happens differently, then that's what will happen. But on the year, with my predictions. I am now 18-10. Told you you're not gonna always get every game right, but 18-10 is a very good record for me. I like that right now for the first couple of weeks. But I'm gonna give y'all my predictions now for this week coming up as well. So I got the Falcons over the Bucks. Jameis Winston is coming back off of the bye week. It's going to be a good game. You know the Falcons defense, they're injured right now. A lot of people turn their ACL, so it might be a high-scoring game. Matt Ryan's going to ball, throw a lot of yards. And, yeah, nobody don't believe in the Buccaneers. That's what I'm hearing from people that, Carolina Panthers fans and Saints fans. Nobody don't believe in the Buccaneers. They don't believe in Jameis Winston. So I'm not picking the Falcons just because that's what they're saying, but we'll see. The Buccaneers, we never, history of the Buccaneers. Shout out to my man's Cam. Rest in peace. Vikings over the Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals got their first win last week over the 49ers. Finally. Picked them last week, but now we swinging around. Now you got to play the Vikings, so it's over for you guys. The Chargers over the Browns. The Browns just got that big win. 2 wins. Wow, the Browns finally winning finally got 2 wins in the season. Wow, but you have to play Phillip Rivers. Told you Phillip Rivers and the Chargers are going to make the playoffs this year. I believe in them. Going to believe in them. And I got the Chargers over the Browns. Now the Bears will play the Dolphins. Bears coming back. Bears going to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins played the Bengals this past weekend. They were up 14-0, and then the Bengals ended up scoring 27 straight points. Told you don't believe in the Dolphins. I do not believe in Miami. I do not believe in them. Ryan Tannehill threw 2 interceptions. Going down the drain. They started off undefeated. It was 3 teams that was undefeated. Now they lost 2 games in a row to the Patriots. And they lost to the Bengals, and now they're about to lose another one. So that's going to be 3 games in a row. Another team that's playing is the Panthers and the Redskins. Now, this game right here is going to be a great, questionable game. But I still got the Panthers over the Redskins. I feel like this is going to be a good game, though. Greg Olsen may be coming back this weekend, so that's going to give the Panthers a lot of momentum. They got their tight end back. As Cam Newton says, I got my dog back. It's over for you suckers. So, yeah, I got the Panthers over the Redskins. Now, the Colts are playing the Jets. Jets playing the Colts, however you want to go first. Now, the Jets beat the Denver Broncos last weekend. I had the Denver Broncos beating them, I said the Broncos was going to win by 10 points. Well, it was the other way around. The Jets ended up winning by more than 10 points. So this is going to be a good game. It's going to be in New York, but Andrew Luck and the Colts are 1-4. They need a win bad. So I'm going to take the Colts this weekend. I feel like Andrew Luck is going to get the job done. 1-5 coming off since he didn't play last year. He was injured. I got the Colts winning against the Jets. Told y'all already the Steelers over the Bengals. We already talked about that. Seahawks over Oakland. Now, the Seahawks played the Rams last week, and it was a back-and-forth game. But Jared Goff and them boys still hold it down by ended up getting that first down to seal off the deal. So, Oakland Raiders. Derek Carr did not give Marshawn Lynch the ball on the 1-yard line. Now, he said years ago that if that was him in that position in the Super Bowl, that he would have gave Marshawn Lynch the ball. Well, it just happened, and he did not give Marshawn Lynch the ball. And they asked Marshawn Lynch how did he feel about it. Marshawn Lynch said, it happened to me in the Super Bowl, and it happened to me in the regular season. I'm not used to it I'm used to it by now. Sorry about that. Don't say you're gonna do something, and then when you get in the position to do it, now you don't do it at all. I hate when people talk about, if I was in that position, I could do that, or if I would have caught that ball. No, you wouldn't, because if you could, you'll be out there doing it. Everybody know that. That's not even just coming from me. Everybody know that. Houston over the Bills. The Bills ended up beating the Titans last week. Low scoring game with 13-12. I got Houston winning over the Bills this weekend. The Houston ended up beating the Cowboys. And the Cowboys and Houston Texans will not be playing each other for the next 4 years. Word to my man Tep. So now they got bragging rights for the next 4 years. So yeah, got the Texans, Deshaun Watson and them boys. They gonna bounce back, get their record looking real good. Rams over the Broncos. They're gonna be the Broncos. Broncos struggling right now on the offensive side. Well, it's defense side too, because the Jets put up a lot of points on them. Jets, Sam Darnold. So yeah, the Rams are gonna win. And I told you they're going to be the only undefeated team after this weekend. So Rams still going to be undefeated. Now the Jaguars versus the Cowboys. This is going to be a very interesting game because Jalen Ramsey is supposedly questionable, and the Cowboys are going to be at the it's going to be in the Cowboys stadium. It's going to be at their arena, and the Jaguars, Blake Bortles. You need to show up. Now, that's the only way. But I still got the Jaguars winning. It's going to be a questionable game, though. But if Jalen Ramsey don't play this weekend, then the Cowboys are going to win. I have to say that. But I got the Jaguars, though, if he does play. But we'll see what's going on with that. That's going to be a good game, though. That's a questionable game. The Ravens over the Titans. Don't believe in the Titans. Told you about that. Patriots over the Chiefs. We already talked about that. Patriots going to beat the Chiefs. Tom Brady going to dead all that. It's time for me to get this division. Packers over the 49ers. They're going to bounce back. 49ers are in trouble, obviously, because Jimmy G got hurt. And Richard Sherman did play last weekend. But Aaron Rodgers is not losing again. Not losing again at all. And that's that right there. Now, I'm not going to be doing my prediction. Now, I'm not going to be giving you predictions for every single game. This would be my last week doing that for everybody who's actually paying attention to my predictions, because I feel like if I try to give you a prediction for every single game, obviously I'm not going to get everyone right. So I'm going to, tone it down, give you a couple of games, maybe 6 or 5, or sometimes I might give you the game of the week or something like that. Or if it's a great game, that it's a toss-up, and I can really talk about it. But I'm 18-10, though. 18-10, so that's cool right there. Now, we're going to transition to baseball. This is something new. First time talking about baseball. My man told me to talk about it. The Dodgers are playing the Brewers, and the Astros are playing the Red Sox. Now, the Astros obviously won the championship last year, so now they're the defending champions for this year, and they're going up against the Red Sox, who has the best record in baseball this season. Who will you take? Okay. The Dodgers, I got the Dodgers over the Brewers. Even though the Brewers are hot right now, I got the Dodgers over the Brewers just because of their pitching. And then there leaves two. The Astros and the Red Sox. Who do you got, Ray? Who do you got? Either way, whoever wins this, this series, they're gonna win the World Series anyway. Who do you got? Well, going on the line to say I got the Houston Astros beating the Red Sox again. No revenge for the Boston Red Sox, and the Houston Astros go back to back. There you go. There it is. I'm leaving it like that. That's it. Ain't really nothing to talk about more about that. I got the Houston Astros playing the Dodgers, and the Houston Astros are going to go back to back. That's it. Now, I'm going to cap it off at the end with NBA. I want to talk about college football right now. Headlines that I really want to state out. The real main topic I want to talk about is, will Alabama go back-to-back? Now they do have Tua. This is his first full season now playing. Will they go back-to-back? Are they going to be dominant? Can any team beat them? Challenge them? No. Alabama will win again. They will go back-to-back. Two teams going back-to-back, MLB and them. They will go back-to-back. They will not lose no game. They will go undefeated. The only team that probably will give them trouble or, be little mosquitoes and knickknacks give them is Auburn, the last game of the season, just because of the rivalry and, history with those two teams playing at the end. That maybe be it. But other than that, no, nobody is stopping Alabama. But it's good to talk about the other teams, though. It's always good to talk about the other teams. Out of the top 4 teams, which you have Clemson, no order. You have Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, and Alabama. Out of those first four teams, who do I think will lose a game in the regular season? And it will have to be Georgia. Now, if Georgia... Now you say, I know, you're like, what? Georgia? They dominant right now. They got a quarterback, their defense. Well, Georgia has to play at LSU this weekend, play Florida, and play Kentucky, who's ranked this year, which is questionable because you don't know, the Cinderella Kentucky team ended up losing and going back. And then they also have to play Auburn. They have to play Auburn as well. That's tough. That's really, really tough, playing all those teams. They're not like Alabama. So, yeah. Clemson has to play NC State this weekend. A lot of people are about to be mad at what I'm about to say, but NC State not going to beat Clemson. It's at Clemson. Now, if it wasn't Raleigh, State will have a chance. But since it's in Clemson, it is dead. But not hating on anybody at State. State is a real good football team. Of course, they already going in there thinking like nobody's not going to pick them. And if I was in their shoes right now, practicing all this week, I'll be motivated, to prove the doubters wrong. And if they do that, then I'm happy for them, for real, because, I like being, when I hooped, you know what I'm saying? I'm not done though, but when I hooped, I like being underdog. I like when nobody don't pick us to win because that motivates you, that gets you, and that's adding more fuel to the fire. So, State, 2 ranked teams. This is what everybody been waiting for. State couldn't play West Virginia because of the hurricane. So we did not see them play against a top team yet. So this would be the ultimate test for them. But I got Clemson beating them. Texas, I'm a Texas fan. Throw this in there. Is Texas back? Are we back? We ended up beating Oklahoma at Oklahoma, who was undefeated this past weekend for the rivalry, the Red River Showdown. Baker Mayfield, put something on the gram. PJ Tucker, he went to Texas, put something on the gram, and also Kevin Durant put something on the gram too. So that's a rivalry. Oklahoma and Texas, they hate each other. Basketball, football, volleyball, they just hate each other. But Texas did win. They ended up losing the first game of the season to Maryland, just like last year. But now they seem to get it together and they bounce back. Now they moved all the way back up now they moved up to number 9 in the rankings. And they have Baylor this weekend. They will be Baylor. And only team, the real test with them will be against Will Grier and them boys in West Virginia. And Ohio State, which their hardest game of their schedule, they're going to knock everybody off for the rest. But the only team's the last game of the season that's against Michigan. Yeah, that's against Michigan. Playing up against Michigan, that's the only team that'll be to give them trouble. And yeah, Alabama going back to back to win the Heisman. Is this Nick Saban best quarterback ever? Right? It's tough. It's tough to say. I feel like he has to finish the season. And he has to win. He's going to win Heisman. Real easy. He's dominating real crazy. He has to win, and then after he wins the championship, then I guess we can have that conversation. But I got Tua winning the Heisman, and I'm saying that he's their best quarterback, but others will say different. But what it is and what it ain't. Now to cap it off. NBA, woo. Yes, sir. NBA is back, basically. NBA is back, We got the first game on October 16th. Real good. We got the Boston Celtics. Kyrie Irving, he's back. Gordon Hayward, he's back against the 76ers. The Sixers, Ben Simmons and them boys, they're going to be trying to get their revenge because this is the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year, and it was very disappointing. Ben Simmons, I did not forget about when you got the rebound, shot that quick floater, when you couldn't hold the ball and got the free throw in the playoffs. And I know he's probably thinking about that too. Anybody, basketball, football, if you're an athlete, you're going to remember the moments when you messed up. And especially if this is the team that beat you, you're going to want to come back and really dominate against them. But I got the Boston Celtics beating them. Boston Celtics going to beat them. Full-fledged Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, everybody's here. So it's going to be real good. Then the Thunder versus the Warriors. This is going. If it was at the Chesapeake, if it was at Thunder in Oklahoma, then it would have been, a great game. But since it's in Golden State, ring ceremony, I got the Warriors. But I am a Russell fan. And I know he's going to come out there with a lot of heart. Russell's going to come out there with a lot of heart. And it's national televised. The lights is on. It would be great to beat the Warriors on their ring ceremony. It would be great to beat Kevin Durant. The guy that left them, the snake, so they say. But going back to with the Boston Celtics, Terry Rozier will not be signing an extension with the Celtics. Figured that would happen. Kyrie Irving reportedly verbally saying that if you guys have my back, then I will stay. So, yeah, Terry Rozier got to get up out of there because what he did last season was amazing. And yeah, he can be a starting point guard for somebody's team in the NBA, definitely. Definitely. He proved it. I mean, he had that one bad game against the Cavaliers in Game 7 when he shot bad. I mean, that cost him because, Game 7, the biggest game of the year, you didn't show up. Yeah, you didn't show up. But every other game he played great. But just that one game he messed up. But it's Kyrie Irving, young Irving, sell tickets, top point guard in the NBA. Of course, he's going to start over Terry Rozier. Jimmy Butler returned to practice this week. And it was all over the news. I'm going back to what I said about Odell with the Giants. I feel like everything should stay in-house. I am agreeing with Kevin Garnett. He said there's too many things being into the public. Like, everybody's know what's going on. We needed that, though. We like that, though. We like that. I like that. I like to talk about that. I like knowing what's going on. Give me that. But everything should be in-house. But Jimmy Butler came back and ran with the third string, talking junk to Cat. Andrew Wiggins ain't really say nothing back to him from what we know. And they couldn't say nothing. They dominated with the third string. Talking junk, telling the GM, you effing need me. All of that. That's good. Competitor. But it looks like he probably will not be getting traded. So he's going to be there for the whole year. Maybe. I still think the Rockets will probably throw something in there. But I can't say that because Thibs wants everything. He wants to get P.J. Tucker. And then Pat Riley with the Heat. That trade was going to go through. But then now Thibs wanted more. So Pat Riley ended up calling him a mother. Ain't going to finish that. So he not messing, and he hung up the phone on him. So, but Thibs won a lot though, because Jimmy Butler's like that. He's like that. But we'll see if he stays with the Timberwolves. Just because it's Jimmy Butler and the type of player I know how he is, I think they can still make the playoffs. So if Jimmy Butler does stay, then it might be quiet for the Blazers. Lonzo Ball had to cover up his Big Baller Brand tattoo. The NBA hit him up. The same thing how they hit up J.R. Smith about the Supreme tattoo. NBA just won money off of everything. So Lonzo ended up covering it up. His first preseason game against the Warriors. The Lakers play the Warriors in the preseason game. Don't really want to get too much into that because it's a preseason game. But LeBron and them, they did show out. Draymond was on the sideline. Obviously, DeMarcus Cousins is not back. LeBron had half-court shots. Brandon Ingram going crazy. But it's a preseason game. It's all a preseason game, and they play again tonight. So the Warriors might get their face back, but even if the Warriors don't get their face back, it really don't matter because it's the preseason right now. It is the preseason. But Trae Young, though, I'll talk about Trae Young because he's a rookie. Hit that game win on the San Antonio Spurs almost from half court. He was in the middle from that three-point line in the half court. That was crazy. Real crazy. The Raptors dominated the Pelicans the other day. Pabs. They dominated them. And Kawhi Leonard and the starters didn't really even play. But it's the preseason. It's the preseason. The NBA season's right around the corner. So now we'll see how people is going to really be playing with the big lights. You know, you got the Trailblazers versus the Lakers the next day after the Celtics and Philly and Oklahoma and Golden State play. So there's going to be LeBron officially first game with the Lakers. So, yeah, we'll see what's going to happen with that. Kyrie Irving, though, trying to get Anthony Davis to come to Boston. Now, that would be great. But if Anthony Davis was to go there, obviously he's going to start. Who is sitting? Because obviously you're going to have Kyrie Irving at the 1. Well, first, I don't think Anthony Davis is going to Boston. I think if he does leave, he's going to LA. He just signed with Clutch Sports, LeBron's agent, if anything. But if he does go to Boston, it's not a bad place to go to. Kyrie at the 1. Okay, Kyrie at the 1. Listen, talk to me now. Kyrie at the 1. Tatum at the 2. Or wherever Tatum at the 2. Hayward's got to start, right? Hayward's got to start. So are you starting Jaylen Brown or are you starting Al Horford? Well, to mix it up, okay, Jaylen Brown was the 2, but I think they're going to start. Jaylen Brown is going to be classified the 2 this year with their roster, but I think if Anthony Davis was to come to the Celtics, then they'll put Jason Tatum at the 2. So that's the only reason why I said Jason Tatum at the 2. So Kyrie at the 1, Jason Tatum at the 2, Hayward at the 3. You sitting down Horford to put him in his natural position because he likes to play the 4, or you're starting Jaylen Brown. Now that's going to be the 4 spot is going to be questionable. Jason Tatum is going to start. He has to start. He's a baller. He's a killer. So, and Al Horford is not really a center. He's a power forward. So that would put him in his natural position if Anthony Davis was to come there. And that would be very scary. That would be very scary. Very scary. Very, very, very scary. They'll definitely win the NBA championship if Anthony Davis goes there next year. It'll be quiet for the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers are going to win this year. If they do, then they do. I think they'll win next year. But if Anthony Davis goes to the Boston Celtics next year, it is quiet. It is quiet. A lot of ESPN analysts and people are picking the Celtics to win the championship this year over the Golden State Warriors. I don't know. All right, so let's talk about it. Way too early predictions. Let's go on and say it. The Raptors going to be number 1 in the East. That's what I think. That's what I'm going with. Kawhi Leonard and them boys going to get the job done. And in the Eastern Conference Finals, I think it would be the Raptors versus the Celtics. Go to 7 games. Don't know who will win. Don't know who will win. Pick a team. We have to wait till then. Way too early predictions. I don't know who will win because Kyrie and Hayward's back. We got to see how that is. But also, the Indiana Pacers is the sleeper team because they took Bron to 7 games. They took the Cavaliers to 7 games last year, and now LeBron's not there, so they're going to be playing one of these teams early in the first round, and they're going to be scary. Victor Oladipo is going to have another great season. John Wall has a big man. Well, he always had a big man, but Dwight Howard is now there with the Wizards. So we will see how that will work. Dwight Howard back can still mess up, so he's probably going to miss the season opener for the Wizards. So if Dwight can't stay healthy, then, it's quiet. It's quiet over there as well. Cavaliers, will the Cavaliers make the playoffs this year? That's my team. I say we can make the 8th seed. But we'll see. It's going to be tough. Dwayne Wade returned back to Miami. Miami's going to make the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs. It'll be Wade last year. I think they'll make the playoffs. Will Whiteside get traded this year? They're still trying to trade him. We'll see about that, how that will go. Detroit Pistons, though. This will be interesting. Blake Griffin now, he'll be there for the whole year. Dwayne Casey's now there. He was the coach of the year last year. If Reggie Jackson can't stay healthy, and then obviously they have Stanley Johnson as well, they can be a good team. They'll make the playoffs. They can make the playoffs winning out of the first round. No, I don't see it, but they can make the playoffs. Over on the West, who will be the number 1 seed? Who will be? The Rockets again. I think the Rockets will be the number 1 seed again. Golden State number 2. Would the Lakers be top 5? Because a lot of people are saying that the Lakers would be 8. Oh, they're crazy. I think the Lakers will be top 5. They'll be top 5 in the West. After everybody come back, Lonzo, after everything come together. Michael Porter Jr. is with the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets also signed Isaiah Thomas. Will the Nuggets get into the playoffs this year? Will they finally break the ice? Think so. Think the Nuggets will get in there. It's Trailblazers, man. They might not make it this year. And I know Damian Lillard and, C.J. McCollum always hit it every year. But this year, it's for real. Y'all might not make it this year. Then you got the San Antonio Spurs with the DeMar DeRozan this year. I think Greg gets it done, but prayers up to DeJounte Murray. He tore his ACL, so they might be on the edge. The Spurs probably be through the 6th through the 10th seed. They'll be trying to fight and get into the playoffs. We'll see how that works. They don't have their starting point guard now. Well, Patty's still there, Patty, but we'll see how that will work. And then to end it off, Jimmer Fredette played a preseason game against the Rockets. James Harden went crazy. But I'm just talking about Jimmer Fredette, though, because Jimmer over there in China, and he went 16 for 40, but he had 41 points. I'm not a fan of shooting that many shots. I'm not. But he's a scorer, I guess, and everybody likes that. But it took you 40 shots to get 41 points. Now, going back to what LeBron James said about 3-4 years ago, if I was to shoot 33 shots, I can easily get 60. He did. And I'm not just trying to only put it on just, LeBron, but that's a lot of shots. If you shot 40 shots and got 40, that's terrible. And anybody that hoops know that. Y'all know that. Y'all take that many shots and you only get 40 points. God, boy, you take 40, you need like 60 points. Got to, but shout out to Jimmy for that. It did look good to see him play in the NBA again, on the NBA stage again. Can he come back to the NBA? I think he should, but politics go with that as well. So that's how it's gonna go. And what it is and what it ain't. If you don't like what I gotta say, then join the debate. Thank you for tuning in. Copy.